Money, 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 money. Besha, pesa.
Bia.
Bia, pesa, mangondo.
Chisenti.
Chisenti.
Say money, money, my pesa.
Rashad, enda ukae huko na usiongee. Hi, thank you so much for coming to this platform once again. This is Rod Salwa, our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, sharing, and commenting. You can tell us how we can improve, by the way. It will be so nice. So today I have come with Mr. Happiness. Mr. Hasbai, Mr. Salwa himself. And today we want to talk about a very emotive.
Yes.
As you can see, we come from different communities. We went to different schools. We met when we were all grown. But let's talk about money. I don't know what will happen after this conversation, but we hope we are here to share our perspective on money. And we think that is what God has led us to do. But we are not sure whether it is what you have been doing. However, let's talk a bit about the perspective of money. Probably, I don't know, maybe we have different perspectives. This is a topic that is very, like my money, it's my money. His money is our money. However, and when we talk about money in this session, we are not talking about the quantity of money. We are talking about perspective. Sawa sawa? Yes. Welcome. Enjoy. Just sit, take a glass of water, relax, and enjoy as I host Mr. Happiness as he talks to us about money, the Salwa himself. So, my money, our money, by the way, we are husband and wife.
Yeah.
So my money, there's this street talk. Let me call it street talk because I don't know where it came from. I have not read it anywhere, but I've heard it ever since I was a child till now. That my money, the lady's money, my money is my money and his money is our money. So that perspective, is it the right perspective? What do you think? Just comment. What does it mean? For you married couples, or you that are intending to get married, or probably you are dating. As you date, is your money dating? Are your finances dating?
Are they related?
Are they relating? Yes. So welcome, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
I actually think that whereas there is that conversation that her money, your money is your money and my money is our money. One, personally, I think it's a wrong perspective because that is a root of distrust or lack of trust. Because if we are in this marriage together, then everything about our lives should be shared. Immediately we bring in division or differences in terms of this belongs to me and this belongs to you. It means that there are certain things that I will not mention or even reveal to you, and that can be a source of mistrust. Maybe the question is, to what extent do I actually trust you? So that when you get money, and if it changes the way you relate with your spouse, then it doesn't necessarily mean that money has become too much. It only reveals that a character that was hidden, that needed to be facilitated for it to be shown. So money is a tool that is supposed to help us work life together. That would be my perspective.
So we have heard that money changes people. I think what I'm hearing you say is that money does not change people. Money reveals who truly you are.
One is.
Yes, who truly somebody is. But does lack of money also reveal who that person is?
No, I think it may, but not as much as the presence of money. You would find one is very humble and without many issues. Let me give an example. Ordinarily, when couples are beginning marriage, and particularly those of us who get married or start relating and are headed to marriage in our early years, maybe 20s and maybe between 20s and 30s. At that point in time, you don't have a lot of money, and so you see.
And there are people that begin this
Well,
with a lot of money.
It actually depends how you make that money. But majority of the people don't have a lot of money unless you've stolen somewhere or you have inherited some good amount of money, which is okay, but the majority don't have a lot of money. You've just cleared campus and you're just making ends meet in life. So you don't have a lot of money. But as people continue to grow, and that is, you begin to hear that people maybe in the fourth floor, they have made a little bit of money. Now they begin to
the husband begins to have like a mistress.
Yes.
The wife wants a divorce because if anything, I can take care of myself.
Take care of myself. But also the other thing is that the other thing is the whole definition. How do we define money? I think that really informs our perspective. What is money to any individual? And I think once you get the definition of money correct, then it also influences how you actually relate with money, as well as how that money then influences your relationships, and particularly the relationship with your spouse.
So people have said that, especially, I read somewhere that if we get married and I have money, and I have some investments, not necessarily money, wealth, I have some investments somewhere, you are not, and you did have, you are not entitled to my investment. What is your take?
Well, the question is how much of you is married to me. If it's a part of you that is married to me, then it's okay.
No, I am married to you, but our money is...
if our money is not married, and you know money is a big aspect of your life, it actually influences a lot of your worldview, it influences the things that you will actually engage in, it influences the places you will go to, it influences even your tomorrow, somehow is pegged on the money you have. And so if you want to keep some of it aside from the relationship of marriage, then to me, my understanding would be you're not 100% into this relationship. So you are like, I'm here as long as things are working, and as long as it is convenient for me. So for me, such a relationship is actually a relationship of convenience, where if things don't work out, I will not waste my energy making sure that this relationship works, but I'll simply go out and get into my investment and my life will move on. Little wonder, I guess part of it is why divorces are very common.
So I think our perspective, or what we believe, is that money is a facilitator to a good marriage. So there are so many discussions, and it's not final. There are so many discussions around money and how different couples handle their resources and how they manage their resources with one another. But the bottom line is, money or the resources that you have should not define your relationship. So that you look at the person for who they are, beyond what they can bring on the table or what they have. And so I think getting it right, being married does not, it's not easy to begin to handle money differently when you're married. So if you are dating, the right time to start knowing how you will handle money in marriage, because it can bring a big conflict, especially with the notion that the man is the provider. I have never seen that verse in the scriptures, that the man is the provider, and it is a common saying among the believers that the man is the provider. And I think that brings a lot of conflict and drift when we say that the man is the provider. For us, we say that God is the provider. God is the provider. That means for the Salwa's home, God can provide through him or through me. So we try to distance ourselves from the provision of whatever comes in, so that then it doesn't become like if I bring 5,000 and Salwa brings 10,000, then he feels he has more power because he has
more money.
He has more money.
And actually, the who owns the money is actually an important aspect to our finances. We actually believe that we don't own any money. All money that comes through our hands is God's money. And so from whichever direction it comes, if it comes through me, it's still God's money. If it comes through her, it's God's money. And so what is important is now, how do we then use God's money? Can we use God's money to as a source of power to domineer or dominate the other partner, or do we use God's money to actually better our relationship and the relationships that we have around us?
And then there's also another issue that we also encounter in the line of duty is you hear a couple say, or husband or wife say, I am the breadwinner of this family. Or just one party says that I'm the breadwinner, I am the breadwinner of my whoever. So if you that perspective of one thinking or viewing themselves as the breadwinners is to mean that I'm the one who brings food on the table. So and it affects, because if I am the one bringing food on the table, that means I decide what is going to be eaten, portions of that food, frequency, if you're going to have breakfast, lunch and supper, at what amount you can consume, and so on and so forth. So in the aspect of breadwinning for us, it is God who is the breadwinner. God is the breadwinner. None of us is the breadwinner. So that however provisions come, whatever form of provision, anything that can be equated to money, it is God's provision to us. And so God has given us as stewards, then it is in our hands how do we use it to facilitate our marriage, so that money does not become a third party in our marriage, it becomes a facilitator. In the case when we have conflict, that money should not be any part in the conflict. Like it should not be, it's the issue we are conflicting about. Let's conflict about other things. Let's conflict about what do we conflict about? Something outside material things.
Yeah. Maybe an assignment that needed to be done and it's not done.
Yes, let's conflict about, we agreed this you are going to do, why have you not done it? But let's not conflict about you are bringing 5,000 and I am bringing 7,000. So why is that I have more say into this? And the temptation is, especially when I am bringing more and you are bringing less, there's always a challenge. But the question, I think, to both man and woman would be, would you lead your family without money? I think that is core, that you as a husband, you as a man, you don't have money. We are here in this setup, you've lost your job. Of course, during this COVID, people have lost jobs and so on and so forth. How would it be for you to lead the Salwas without income, without money?
I think it's the answer to that question. I think it is one based on how both of you have related with money when money was there, and how have you related with one another. Because if your source of leadership is money, then you'll not be able to lead. So if the source of your leadership is actually because you have money, then when you lose it, you will also lose your leadership. But if your leadership, the source of your leadership is a mutual respect for one another, the values that you actually hold, the sense of responsibility that you take, and the sense of responsibility does not necessarily mean that you have to have money. You can still be responsible in taking care of your family even without money. So for me, yes, you can still be able to lead your family even when, for example, if you lose your job, if I lose my job, I should be able to lead my family because of the values that we have ascribed to as a family, so that our values are not based or pegged on money. So I think it is possible.
Yeah, and from I think from a wife's perspective, that's one of the things that we keep on wondering, or many women out there wonder. So this guy has lost his job, and all of a sudden it's like he's becoming insecure. He's not showing leadership. Like the lion that is supposed to roar in the house has become a cat, and we don't know now what to do and how to relate. So I think the question of the wife or the lady is, me as Rosie, can I submit with all the monies? Can I submit? And I know submission is also a whole discussion altogether. Can I still submit? Can I still view him as the head of the family, even though he has lost his job? Do I still value him? Do I still honor him? Do I still respect him with the monies and the titles? Because there are some places that there are some things that cannot be changed. I know we are living in a modernized society, and life is viewed differently, but there are some things that cannot change. We will go out there and work, but when we come home, I'm still the wife. We will still go out there and do whatever. He will still go out there and work, lose his job, or get a lot of money. But when we come through the door, we come to the house, he's still the father, he's still the friend, he's still the husband. By the way, and we have people with different professions out there. When we come home, that does not work. You might be celebrated out there, you are known out there, but when you come home, you become a normal human being. You are a father, you are a friend, you are a husband, you are a mother, you are a friend, you are a wife. Yeah, so key to note is that who is the sole provider? Not sole provider.
Yeah.
Who is the sole provider of your family? If you get to know who is your master, who is the master of that money, who is the sole provider of your resources in your marriage, then these other issues of who is bringing more, who is bringing less, will not be an issue.
And actually, if you think about it, by the time someone loses a job and they are either unable to provide leadership in the family, or now if it is the husband losing the job and the wife is struggling to probably submit because she has more money, I think there is something that may have gone wrong at the very beginning, at the foundation. And I think you alluded to it, that at the point when people are dating and relating and walking towards marriage, do they allow their money as well to date? Is money involved? Do they have conversations about money? Because for many people,
your money is our money, my money is my money.
yes, and the issue is that if you go a little bit back, you'll find that for most people, they get attracted to another or the other person because of what they have, not who they are. And so, if that is the foundation, then you are bound to have problems even later on in marriage. Give
Problems associated with money.
Yes, give an example. When we were dating, we tried our level best to allow the little money that each of us had to actually
Date as well.
Yes. I remember there was a time I was going for a mission and I didn't have fare, and we were not even actually dating at that time. We were just friends. And I came home at this mission and I don't have fare. Can you lend me some 1,000 shillings? Then other than giving me 1,000 shillings, she actually gave me her ATM and her PIN.
I was facilitating ministry.
Of course. But you see, the level of trust is it's different. If you had given me 1,000 shillings, that's okay. But the fact that you could give me your ATM and you could give me the PIN and allow me to walk into the bank, get the much that I needed to, and actually I just got 1,000 that I needed, and I actually stayed with the ATM for a long while before I returned.
Because I doubt there was any other money apart from the 1,000.
There was actually there was more than that 1,000. So from that moment we started actually allowing our money relate. And when we were in relationships, my wallet did not have a PIN or a password that she had to figure out. No, it was just as open as a wallet can be. And in case we are out there and maybe we get somebody that needs help, sometimes she would, can I have your wallet? And she would just pull whatever was available and that needed to be given out, and she would give. And I would not feel like, hey, you are interfering with my budget, you are interfering with my money, because we had established that level of trust that we can actually, I can use what you would call her money and it's not a problem, and she could also use what you would call my money and it's okay, because we learned it's not my money, her money, it's God's money and us as stewards of that resources.
Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. You can comment and tell us what aspect of money in marriage and relationship you would want us to talk about, and we will try and be as open as possible.
Yeah, because this is about
vulnerability, acceptance, and hope.